Ariel Helwani in Los Angeles for UFC 184 alongside Holly Holm, who makes her Octagon debut this Saturday night against Raquel Pennington live on pay-per-view. Holly, you are here. You've been around the block, though. Compare this setting, the buzz leading up to this event in LA, to some of your biggest boxing matches. Does it equate? Bigger? Smaller?
The media attention is definitely bigger. This is a big event. This is the most attention around women's, fighting between boxing or MMA altogether. So there is more attention around it, no doubt about it. As far as the actual nerves for the fight, I've been in a lot of big fights before, and I feel that. I've felt that before. I've felt very nervous for fights before. I'm always nervous no matter who it is, because if it's somebody who's so great they're supposed to beat you, you're nervous, you want to get in there and do well. If it's someone you're supposed to beat, well, you better not be a letdown. There's a lose-lose situation. So I don't care who it is, I'm going to be nervous. I do feel like this has a little extra weight, and I can't wait to get in there and finally get this first fight in the UFC going.
You're making history. First time ever, main event, co-main event, all female. Does that mean anything to you? Are you proud of that? Do you like being a part of something like that? Is it somewhat surreal as well?
It's very surreal. I'm proud of it, absolutely. I just hope that I make it worth something. There's so much hype behind it and expectation and anticipation, and I just want to make sure and get in there and do well so that all of this is worth something.
What do you say to the people who say that Raquel is just being fed to you? She's an opponent to make you look good.
Oh, I never feel like that with any opponent, and I don't think any opponent in the UFC should be looked at that. I don't even care who it is. Everybody has a chance to win, and you never know what's going to happen when you get in there. She has a very balanced skill set. She's comfortable on her feet. She doesn't mind standing and fighting. She's comfortable on the ground. She doesn't get overwhelmed with anything. She's comfortable in the clinch. So I believe she's still ranked higher than me, so I don't know why there's so much expectation on, just kind of.
You haven't fought in the UFC yet.
So, yeah. So, we'll see what happens. I am not looking past her at all. I'm very nervous for the fight, and I'm very worked up about it, and it's good because if I didn't feel nervous, I probably shouldn't be doing this anymore.
How would you assess her striking?
I don't think she ever gets really too overwhelmed. She's going to sit there and throw, so I don't really want to be there for any counter punches or anything like that. And everybody's always ever improving. And every fighter has a puncher's chance. I don't care who you are. You may have never thrown a punch in your life. You get in there, you still have a chance to knock someone out because it could just be that right punch. So I don't ever look past anybody.
I get the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, that everyone at Jackson Winklejohn really respects you. You've been there for so long. You're kind of like, you're a member of the family, right? And I'm wondering, with all those great fighters who have come out of that gym, did anyone leading up to this point, before you left, pull you aside and give you some pointers, tell you something that really motivated you before your big UFC debut? Was there any moment with any of the fighters?
Oh, there's a lot of moments, actually. I think, even just little help from Keith Jardine, just a 5-minute little talk after a workout when he was in there. Kind of sometimes he'll come in, work out still, and even John Jones, just from being in the limelight at one point, is like, "You're not letting this pressure get to you, are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous." Right. But he's like, "Don't do that." And I'm like, "Well, I know I'm not gonna. I'm not letting it, get the better of me. But I'm definitely nervous, and I'm not gonna lie about it. I could sit here and act tough all day, but everybody knows better." And there's been, my girl teammates that have been very supportive. You work so hard, you're the hardest working person, and you're gonna do so well. We have all the confidence in you, and I feel like between my coaches and my teammates and all this support they gives me strength.
What about on the streets of Albuquerque? Because you're very much one of theirs, right? Most of your career fought in Albuquerque. What were people saying to you leading up to this?
Oh man, we're so excited. Yeah, so are you ready? Are you nervous? Well, yeah, all that stuff,
Sure. Over and over again, right?
So yeah, but hey, the support still makes me feel stronger.
Right. So, you're in the co-main event, and I think there might be a bit of a push to push you into the main event slot against Ronda if she wins, right? There are some people like your coach, Mike Winklejohn, who told me he would prefer maybe 2-3 fights. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Are you afraid they might try to push you too quickly, like Sarah McMahon?
I'm not afraid of it, because I feel like being a fighter, you need to be able to be ready to take on whatever challenge there is. So if things went really fast, I would just, in my mind, okay, well then I'm ready and I can do this and I believe in myself. But if I had to map it out, would I say, on my my ninth fight that I want to fight for the championship when I've had no amateur experience either? I mean, that would kind of be a little far-fetched, but it's not out of the question. You have to believe that you belong there, or else you shouldn't get in there anyway.
It's pretty amazing that you've been with Winklejohn for almost 20 years. You walked in as, I guess, like a soccer player, right? 16, 17 years old. You walk into that gym just trying to, work out. At what point did you actually believe that you can actually make a living doing this? Because when you first walked in, correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't thinking of being a prize fighter, right?
I wasn't thinking of fighting at all. I went in just to do aerobics classes, some cardio kickboxing. And before or after, depending on the time I would go, there would be sparring classes, and I would look and think, that looks fun. I want to try that. And then through going to sparring classes, I told Mr. Winklejohn, I said, I really want to try a fight. I want to see what it's like and see how I do. I want to see what it feels like. I didn't even know if I would pursue doing it that much. I just wanted to try it out. And after the first fight, that was it. I was so fixated on it and addicted to it. I loved it. I just wanted it. As soon as the fight was over, I couldn't wait to get back in the gym and do better, because you never feel like a performance is perfect. And in soccer, swimming, gymnastics, diving, whatever I've done in my past, at the end of a season, I was always ready for it to be over. In MMA, or boxing, anything, fighting, it's year round. It's all week. It's all year, all seasons, and I still love it. So after all these years, if I still like going in and training with this, I'm really glad that I found what I wanted to do. And how, basically it just goes down to this: how blessed was I that I walked into Mike Winklejohn's gym.
All gyms.
A trainer that people from all over the world have sought out to get trained by. That's who's been my coach from the beginning.
Final thing, you've accomplished a lot in your career, and there was a point where we thought maybe you wouldn't make it to the UFC. There were negotiations and whatnot, and you had some options as well. If you didn't make it here, if you didn't get a shot in the UFC and make a run at that title, do you feel like your combat sports career would have been a little incomplete?
This is the goal. This is where I wanted to be. If it didn't happen at the time last year, I knew that, well, then I just need to make more of an impression. I just need to do more. And I could have had, more fights with Legacy. I could have done them at home with Lenny Fresquez and Fresquez Promotions, Fresquez Productions. I knew that I had options, so I really didn't. I didn't lose any sleep over, signing with the UFC. I knew it was a goal. If it happens now, great. If it was going to be a little bit later and I needed to have a fight more and just keep proving myself, then that was fine too.
Well, it's great to finally see you here.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the debut.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.